Second video, excited to be back, I guess. I didn't really go anywhere, so this is a big deal. I never thought I'd make it this far. I bet a lot of you didn't either, but here I am. I literally just spent 15 minutes trying to get this tripod and camera and the lighting and everything right, and let me tell you, that was a pain. So Los Angeles, man, this place is crazy. A lot of people have asked me just kind of about the process of the move, and I figured I'd make a video kind of talking about it. The move out here was interesting. My dad and I did it over the course of 5 days. It was the road trip of a lifetime. We saw so many cool things, did a lot of cool things. I sang karaoke at a bar in Louisville, Kentucky. We drove through Topeka, Kansas, which, by the way, to anyone who lives in Kansas, why do you live there? There is absolutely nothing in that state that would make me ever want to live there. Literally, my dad and I drove for a stretch of 150 miles with grass on both sides of us, and it was the most miserable thing that I've ever experienced in my entire life. God bless anybody who lives in that state. No, we went to Vail. Vail, Colorado was beautiful. The Rocky Mountains, I'm sorry, the Blue Ridge Mountains, they just don't hold a candle. And those are my mountains, man. That's where I grew up, at the Rocky Mountains. It is just unreal. Unbelievable. We went through Las Vegas, saw Dave Chappelle and John Mayer. That was the greatest show I think I've ever been to. Arguably the funniest man to ever do comedy. And then you have John Mayer, who's just this insane musician and can play anything on a guitar. Even Tupac, apparently. Learned that. Day 5 was Los Angeles. Dad and I went to the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day. That was one of the coolest things I've ever been able to do, especially as a huge college football fan. Even if your team isn't playing in it and you have the chance to go 100%. So now I've been living here for almost 2 months, which is crazy because when I came out here in October to visit, someone once told me, time out here flies by because the weather's always nice. That's really true. These last 2 months have kind of been a blur. I can't believe I left my house 2 days after Christmas and now we're almost in March. That's unbelievable. So what makes the West Coast so different from the East Coast, specifically Los Angeles? A lot of things. A lot of things. First off, you've probably heard an urban legend and just by your friends who might have been out here, the traffic is awful. The roads of Los Angeles are the most godforsaken things. I have a lot of friends who live in Northern Virginia, right outside of DC. That traffic is bad. I've driven in it. This traffic out here is 10 times worse. You know what? No, I'm gonna wager 100 times worse. It is awful. When I first moved out here, I was working a job in Santa Monica at a production company, and it was 10 miles away from my apartment. In Virginia, 10 miles is 20 minutes. If that. Out here, 10 miles is an hour and 30 minutes. Really wasn't used to that. Yeah, that took a while to get used to. And that every day, Monday through Friday, that is an hour and 30 minutes of my life both ways that I will never get back. Just sitting in traffic, having homeless people, about 50 of them a day, come up and ask me for money. Number 2, the people. People out here are interesting, man. It's not the kind of the down-home, southern, nice, friendly people I'm used to back on the East Coast. People out here are very self-motivated. They're very self-focused. They don't really care about you. That sounds very morbid and unpleasant, and it is, but it's the truth. The mentality out here is get the hell out of my way. They don't give a crap about you. I don't know if that's because there's just a lot of money out here, there's a lot of people in power out here, but you gotta be careful. You literally can trust no one out here. I'm used to being able to trust anybody. I can break bread with anybody and become friends with that person in the span of 15 minutes and be like, you know what? I like this person. I would trust them with my life. Out here, not even close. That's just not how it is. It's also really interesting that people out here, a lot of them, they say that there's something that they're not. I met this dude at a bar, and it was really interesting because I asked him what he did. He was like, first off, like really stoic and just really kind of rude. It's like, I'm a producer. I was like, oh, that's cool, man. That's awesome. He's like, yeah. Like, so what do you produce? Television? I don't know. But it was interesting. He said that a year before this, he was working construction. I'm sorry, out here or anywhere, you don't go from working construction to being a producer in 1 year's time. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that, you're not a producer. Another thing, the 5th graders out here, like the little kids, like the elementary school and middle school kids, they do whatever the hell they want. When I was in the 5th grade, I was playing kickball on the Knuckles Farm blacktop. These kids, these little kids are riding bird and lime scooters up and down Melrose and Fairfax, and even in Skid Row, like in the most dangerous parts of town. Where are your parents? That is what I want to know. Number 3, another thing that's kind of taboo out here is the weather. Everyone always talks about how Southern California has incredible weather, and for the most part that's true. Although when I first moved out here, and I don't know if it's because it's winter or whatever, it rained for like an entire week. And I called my dad on the phone and he said, I guess you brought it with you. I guess I did, because it's rained for weeks at a time for like 3 weeks since I've been out here. Also, I don't know if it's because it's just the winter months, but it's been reasonably chilly out here. With time, maybe as we get into the summer months, it'll really heat up and I'll really wish that it was like it is right now, just kind of brisk outside. We'll see. Number 4, the traffic. Did we talk about that? It sucks. Kind of a little tangent to go off on the traffic. There's no green arrow out here. It doesn't exist. You know how the green arrow guarantees you comfort in knowing that you will be able to take that left turn along with like 10 other cars and you'll be able to proceed along your merry way. Out here, I've seen it once. Turning left is horrifying out here. For the longest time, I didn't understand how to do it. There was one time where I tried, it's like my first week out here. I'm about to turn left and the light is green and there's just all these cars and they're just coming. I'm like, I can't turn left. There are people behind me. Dude, there's like 100 cars coming right now. What do you want me to just get T-boned? Because that's what's gonna happen. There's a strategy to it. It's the craziest thing ever. What you gotta do is, the second, like that millisecond between the light being yellow and it turning red, that's when you kick it. And you just gotta hope that some jack doesn't T-bone you. But guess what? 3 cars do it at a time. If the light's red, 3 cars go on red and turn left. It's crazy. And the cops don't care. I've done it in front of like 4 of them. They're just like, I don't care about him. I have gang violence to deal with. Back at home, we don't have that to worry about. That's not a really bad problem where I'm from. So if I were to do that in Virginia, I'm getting pulled over. Also, it's really interesting to me. You have to pay for things out here that you never had to pay for on the East Coast. You have to pay for bags for your groceries. What the hell is that? I have all these groceries and now I have to pay like an extra $1 for 2 bags. I ain't with that. Whatever save the earth wave that is, I'm not riding it. I'm not cowabungaing on that wave. I'm not hanging 10 on that wave. I also had to pay to park to go into Target. You have to pay to park at Target? Nah, I ain't with that. Other than that, people talk about the cost of living out here. Yes, it's expensive, but it's doable, although I don't know why I'm talking because I'm in between jobs right now. I have no money. Mom and Dad, help me. I'm good. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. If you guys want to hit my Venmo, I may start a GoFundMe, but we're gonna be all right. So yeah, California's different. Other than that, California really is a special place. On a good day, you're able to get to the beach in like 30 to 45 minutes, and it's cool being able to see the ocean and the mountains literally right next to each other. Malibu's incredible. I was able to drive up there and see the damage of the fires. I saw one of the most incredible sunsets I've ever seen in my entire life there. It's incredible. It's incredible. It's incredible. To be able to live here is really special, and it's a huge adventure. I mean, who cares if there's one of the biggest income taxes here as opposed to anywhere else in the country? As long as I can skateboard into the sunset while wearing a vegan t-shirt, I'm good. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch my second video. I really appreciate it. Look out next week for the First Things That video. Really excited about that one. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Take care. We'll see y'all next week, man.